Good afternoon, everybody. We hope we can hear us here at Livingston here this afternoon, where we are in place for Livingston versus Rangers as this title race takes another twist and turn. This is Sunday afternoon. I'm thoroughly looking forward to it, Chris. The sun is out here in Livingston. It's actually not quite so cold, which I always expect when I come here, but everything is set up for a good afternoon of football. Dare I say, even the pitch is looking all right this afternoon, but we'll see how we get on with that as the afternoon progresses.
As you're saying, hopefully people can't hear us. There have been a few tests of the PA system, so if you hear a bit of France 98 music and a dry run of some Livingston goal music, don't shout at us. It's not our fault. Union Bears setting up their display to our right-hand side. We've been in the stadium half an hour or so, and the boys are putting in a fine effort to get all these blue bags, I think you could probably call them, get them set up. So interested to see what this is going to materialise into ahead of kick-off. But the game itself, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? It's a huge afternoon for Rangers. Hearts held up their end of the bargain yesterday. Rangers need to go and do their bit today.
Yeah, just over to the right-hand side, they are inflatable sort of balloons, I think you could describe them as, Chris. If you're coming to the game today or you're watching on television at home, you will see this display when the game kicks off. It's quite the sight to behold. We've been watching it being blown up for the last sort of 25 minutes or so, so it's a sterling effort from the Union Bears this afternoon. But the main thing we need to talk about, Chris, is the team news, and I'll bring it up here for us to discuss. This is the starting 11 that Danny Rule has gone with. We think it's a 4-2-3-1 this afternoon. Jack Butland in goals, no surprise there. Back four of James Tavernier. He's obviously in for Dujon Sterling, which we'll talk about. John Suter, Emmanuel Fernandez, and two Romans make up the rest of that back four. You've got those sitting midfield two of Nico Raskin and Choche Chukwane. The three in front of him of Jedi Gisama, Mikey Moore, and Andreas Skov-Olsen. And then up front, Yusuf Chermite on his own. Chris, where do we want to start with that? There's a couple of notable omissions that maybe Danny Rule hinted at in the week, notably Ryan Nadiri and perhaps Dujon Sterling. But on paper, still a pretty strong starting 11 for my book.
It's still a starting 11 that you would back to go and win this game, wouldn't it? I think if we touch on the two injury ones, obviously Danny Rule kept his cards close to his chest when we spoke to him on Friday morning. I understand that Dujon Sterling wouldn't have played this afternoon regardless of his fitness, just because of the pitch. You also have to manage him through the minutes, manage him through the schedule, and a surface like that isn't conducive to Dujon Sterling right now, so he wouldn't have played anyway. I think there's a confidence that he will be okay for the Old Firm game, but that's obviously another week away. Let's see how things go. Ryan Nadiri, don't understand that to be a major issue. No surprise that he starts on the bench. I think it's a bit of a blow, given how effective that change in shape was last week, the 4-4-2, 4-2-2-2. I think it was really effective against Hearts. But it's still a Rangers side on paper that you would fancy to go and win today. Rangers are where they are. Under Danny Rule, they are in the form they're in for a reason. Livingston, their form speaks for themselves. So if you have any aspirations of winning things, you just have to come and win games like this afternoon.
Absolutely. I'll just take you through the bench as well this afternoon. Liam Kelly, Jayden Megoma, Nasser Gia, Max Zarens, Mohamed Diamande, Nadim Barami, Tello Asgard, Ryan Nadiri, and Bojan Majovski. Of course, Ryan Nadiri starting on the bench this afternoon. That's maybe the big one that a lot of people will be disappointed with. There has been a few reports this week, sort of different reports on how serious that injury is. We believe that he will be all right in the coming weeks. It's nothing too serious, and the fact he's on the bench today probably suggests that. The one for me, and the one that I've talked about all week, Chris, is Jedi Gisama. I made my case that he was an impact sub, Chris. I made my case that he's better coming off the bench when there's space to run into, as he did on Saturday, Sunday even. Danny Rule isn't listening to me though, and he's putting him in from the start. So a big afternoon for him to show what he can do.
Clearly hasn't watched any of the briefings this week, hasn't read your piece. Was it Tuesday, I think your piece went out? I thought you made an excellent point in that, and I agree with you. It's something that we spoke about at Fir Park, and we touched a wee bit on it ahead of the Hearts game last week. For me, Gisama hasn't been offering enough of late to merit starts. When the game is tight and everyone is fresh, I don't think you get the best out of him. I think when there's a bit more space, legs become weary, minds become tired, I think you can then see Gisama being able to come in and make a bit more influence. So I would have liked to have seen, I think Ant-Man is probably the most obvious one, but then he's not on the bench either, so there's maybe an issue there that we don't know about. So if you look at it and say, well, who's on the bench that could fill that role? perhaps it's understandable why Gassama starts. There's nobody that's really jumping out. You could play Asgard from that side, but I'm not having him on a day like this either. So I think if everyone's fit, I think we both agree that Gassama is not a starter right now, but there's obviously a couple of issues within the squad, so that's maybe influenced the managers thinking Gassama still has enough quality to influence a game like this, doesn't it? We know what he can do. Really effective in that assist for Chimiti for the hat-trick goal last week. Hopefully he can go and find one from the start this week.
Oliver Antman is, of course, a notable omission from that bench altogether. We will endeavour to find out what the script is there, whether it's an injury, whether he's been left out this afternoon. Danny really was pretty coy this week when he was discussing these injuries. He said that there would be 2 or 3 missing from the squad. If we can maybe take those 3 as Ryan Nadiri, Dujon Sterling and Oliver Antman, that kind of makes sense. That really unpacks what he was saying during the week, and it all adds up that those 3 would be missing. I'm disappointed. I thought Antman, he was starting to look quite good, and I thought he was starting to come into a bit of a game, especially against Queen's Park and Kilmarnock. But if he's picked up an injury again, that would be a little bit disappointing that it's kind of set him back. But as you said, Jedi Gassama has more than enough quality to go and affect a game like this, and I just hope he does it from the start today, and I hope he goes and shows some more of those magic moments that in his early parts of his Rangers career he has been capable of. It'll be interesting to see for me, Chris. Yousuf Chermiti, he's up playing up front on his own this afternoon. He's looked good with Ryan Nadiri next to him. I feel like Ryan Nadiri is a good foil for Yousuf Chermiti. I think he plays better as part of a partnership. And coming off the back of that last week, I think you've got a lot of Rangers fans watching this today expecting Yousuf Chermiti to go, okay, son, go and prove you're not a one-hit wonder. Go and prove you can do it 2 weeks in a row.
I think the fact that Mikey Moore is in there and is playing and just in behind rather than off the left-hand side, I think that's certainly a benefit. I'd like to see Moore get as close to Chermiti as possible, give him as much support as possible. Maybe not play as a striker, but maybe play just as close to him as possible. The manager was asked about Chermiti a bit on Friday, and he spoke after the Hearts game about their big players scoring big goals in big games. Clearly, a game against Hearts at Ibrox is a big game, but at this stage, they all are. Without delving into the manager cliche, Facebook too much, this game, it's not going to seem sense of occasion, but it's just as important for Rangers. They have to go and win this one this afternoon. So I think there will be a bit of expectation on Chermiti. Yes, you've got your goals at Parkhead, well done. You've got your goals against Hearts, well done. What can you go and do in a game like this? Can you go and influence one? If you only get one chance, can you take it? So I think there's a bit of pressure on him this afternoon, but he should be flying after last week. Now, if he's not had a spring in his step over the course of the week so far, then there's something wrong. So hopefully we can see him take that one again, and obviously we know what's coming over the next couple of weeks, which hopefully brings out the best in him.
Yeah, absolutely. Just run you through that team one more time. Jack Butland in goals. We think it's a back 4 of James Tavernier, John Suter, Emmanuel Fernandez and Tour Romans in the midfield. Tochi Chukwani, Nico Raskin look to be the 2 sitters, with Jedi Gassama, Mikey Moore and Andreas Skov Olsen ahead of them, and up front Yousuf Chermiti on his own. Chris, you mentioned it there. They were now getting to the point of the season where it's just win. Every game is now must win. Like you said earlier on, Hearts did their part of the bargain yesterday. Celtic are obviously taking on Hibs today in a game that might be a tricky one for them. Rangers come in here, and let's be brutally honest about it, if Rangers have any designs to go and win this title, they absolutely have to come to a place like Livingston with respect and blow them away.
As I said earlier on the show, Livingston are where they are for a reason. Not been in good form. They've tried to change up the squad. I mean, a number of signings in January. They've also been a change in the dugout, just trying to find a spark of some description for their own battle over the next wee while. They are where they are for a reason. If Rangers want to challenge for things and, more importantly, win things, it's the kind of game you just have to take care of. I know people will say tricky venue, pitch, low block, all the rest of it. Doesn't make any difference. You can throw as many excuses at footballers if you want. If you throw one at them, they'll take it. There is none for Rangers this afternoon. They just have to go and win the game. As you say, Hearts perhaps not at their best yesterday. They find a way to win. We'll see what Celtic do, but as we've been saying for quite some time now, it's all about what Rangers do. Keep holding up the end of the bargain, keep taking care of their business, and hopefully it's a successful end to the season for them.
Absolutely. Well, before we leave you, pre-kick-off here, just a quick mention for our upcoming live show. Chris, me and you will be on stage alongside Johnny, Joshua, Stevie and Derek. Of course, that is on April 10th The tickets are still available currently only to subscribers to the site on that pre-sale. I believe it's tomorrow at midday they go on sale to the general public, so we've already had some good sales already, so you better be quick tomorrow off your mark if you want to get some tickets for that. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to see you join us at Edmondson House, of all places, a superb venue for, I think, is it your first live show as well, Chris? It's definitely my first live show with the Rangers Review. I don't know if you've done one already with them.
I've not, no, I joined the site after the previous one, so my first time, not my first time on the Edmondson House stage, but my first time as a Rangers Review person on it, so I'm looking forward to it. It's almost like a running joke every time we're out and about these days. You get someone that comes up and says they're a fan of the show and they enjoy the work, and it's always nice to have that support. So it'd be great to see as many people there as possible on the night.
Absolutely. Looking forward to sharing a stage with you, if nothing else. That'll do us for now. Thanks for joining us here on the Rangers Review live pre-match show ahead of Livingston versus Rangers. Drop your score predictions in the comments. I'll be back at full time speaking with Derek. He'll make a little cameo after the game. But for now, to everybody, thanks for listening and thanks for watching.